So, dear learners, in the previous two classes, we discussed about sentence completion and we came to the end on completing item number 21. So, in this in this unit, we will start from 22. So, dear learners, please look at this picture. This is the house where I live in. So what is the sentence about? The sentence is to be completed. This is the house. Look at it. It's the house and this is the house and there's some gaps here. So you have to complete it. This is the house where I lived in. So I will notice where I lived in. There are two clauses here. This is the house clause and I lived in another clause. Where is the subordinating conjunction? So what is to be done with the sentence? The sentence is to be completed. So our today's lesson is completing sentence. It's clear to you now. Okay. So proceed on to completing item 22. How to complete a sentence with relative pronouns or words. So relative pronouns or words. Look at these words: who, is, what, that, when, while, where, why, whom, who, whose, and how. These are the relative pronouns, or you may consider words. Okay. So this is the house that I built. Have you noticed that I built? There are two clauses here. This is the house that I built. This is the house. It's a clause, and I built. It's another clause. So the sentence has been completed with a clause, and we have already used a relative pronoun here. That is that. That is a relative pronoun. It has been used instead of house. Have you noticed it? This is the house that I built. So what would be the formation? Formation: given item with relative pronouns or word plus relevant clause. Given item with relative pronouns or word plus relevant clause. Now you have to do it by yourself. Activities. Number 1. I saw the sky with ... Number 2. There was a plane that ... Number 3. ... looked white. Number 4. The plane was on the runway. What ... And number 5. ... I was enjoying it very much. Check your answers, please. What you have done. I think you have already completed. Now please check your answers. Okay. I saw the sky which looked blue. Have you noticed? Number 2. There was a plane that was taking off. There was a plane that was taking off. You can use also who is here. There was a plane which was taking off. Number 3. The plane which I saw looked white. The plane which I saw looked white. Okay. And the plane was on the runway. What was launching? The plane was on the runway. What was launching? And number 5. When the plane was taking off, I was enjoying it very much. When the plane was taking off, I was enjoying it very much. Have you noticed? When has been used here as subordinating conjunction. When you will use subordinating conjunction at the beginning of the sentence, you must have to use a comma after the first clause. Please keep it in your brain. When you will use any subordinating conjunction at the beginning of the sentence, you must have to use a comma after the first clause. Okay? Now proceed on to the next one. Completing item 23. Completing item 23. Use of without plus gerund. Without plus gerund. And the formation is given without plus gerund plus subject, that means personal, and plus cannot or could not plus verb plus extension. So please keep it in your brain, keep it in your memory, please. Given without plus gerund plus subject plus cannot or could not plus verb plus extension. So look at the example, please. Without reading attentively, you cannot make a good result. Without reading attentively, you cannot make a good result. So, does it match with the formation? Yes, look at it. Given without plus gerund, reading. Without reading attentively, plus subject plus cannot or could not. You cannot make a good result. So, according to the formation, we have made the sentence. Okay. Now please complete the following incomplete sentences. It's your duty, you will do it by yourself. Without taking physical exercise, ... Number 2, ... without writing mass. Number 3, without respecting others, ... Number 4, ... you cannot win prizes. And number 5, without taking medicine, ... I think you can easily complete the sentences. Okay. Now completing item 24. Use of if plus conditional, and that is first conditional. So look at it. There are 3 or 4 kinds of conditional sentences. It is first conditional. So if plus conditional. What is that? If you come, I will go. If you come, look at the first clause. If. It's a subordinating conjunction and it has been used at the very beginning of the sentence, and that is why we have used a comma after the first clause. If you come, comma, I will go. Okay, it's a conditional sentence. If plus present plus future, I think. So, if plus subject plus verb 1 plus subject plus will plus verb 1. This is the structure. If plus subject plus verb 1. Verb 1 means present form of the verb. So, if plus subject plus verb 1 plus subject plus will or shall plus verb 1. Okay. So, main focus should be on verb 1. Main focus should be on verb 1. And next, will. You have to use will. That is first conditional. Okay, and the structure should be if plus present plus future or present model. Okay, is it clear to you? If plus present plus future. That means after if you use present tense, you must have to use future tense in the second clause. Okay, that is the rule. Okay, first conditional describes a particular situation, not in general, not habitual actually. So when we use first conditional describes a particular situation, not in general, not habitual. In that case, we usually use first conditional sentences. So please look at the picture. You can see 2 girls here and they are talking to each other, and they have used a first conditional sentence. Look at the sentence. If you study regularly, if plus present. So what would be the second clause? Yeah, it will be in future form. If you study regularly, you will do better in the exam. Have you noticed? If you study regularly, you will do better in the exam. And have you noticed the comma? Whenever you will use any subordinating conjunction at the very beginning of the sentence, you must have to use a comma after the first clause. Okay, and the rule is if plus present plus future. Look at it. Here we have used the rules. If you study regularly, you will do better in the exam. Now completing item 25. Okay, Use of if conditional, that means second conditional. So what is second conditional? If you came, I would go. If you came, I would go. So look at the verb in the first clause, came, that means verb 2, and in the second clause would has been used here. So look at it, phrase if plus subject plus verb 2, if plus subject plus verb 2 plus subject plus would plus verb 1. After would, we usually use verb 1 after would. So this is the structure, if plus subject plus verb 2 plus subject plus would plus verb 1. So main focus should be on main verb 2 and the second clause would. Have you noticed it? Okay, that is called second conditional. So if you use past indefinite tense in the first clause, you have to use would, could, or might, or should in the second clause. Okay, that is called second conditional sentence. So the structure is if plus first simple plus first model. If plus first simple plus first model. So please keep it in memory. The structure, you should keep the structure in your memory. If plus first simple plus first model. Okay. And second conditional is used to talk about something in the present which is impossible because it's not true. Is it clear to you? Second conditional is used to talk about something in the present which is impossible because it's not true. Now there's another picture here. You can see a picture here. Look at it. You would do well if you followed me. You would do well if you followed me. If you followed me, you would do well. You can say the sentence in that way. Okay. That means you can use the subordinate clause at the beginning and you can use the principal clause at the end. Okay. But here, principal clause has been used in the first clause and subordinate clause has been used in the second clause. Have you noticed? You would do well if you followed me. Okay. Now proceed on completing item 26. Use of if conditional, third conditional. So there are several types of conditional sentences. First conditional, second conditional. Already we have discussed about first conditional and second conditional. Now we will discuss about third conditional. Okay, look at it. If you had come, I would have gone. If you had come, I would have gone. Have you noticed? Have you noticed? If plus subject plus had plus verb 3 plus subject plus would have plus verb 3. So please keep it in memory. If plus subject plus had plus verb 3 plus subject plus would have plus verb 3. You may use would have, could have, might have, should have and verb 3. Okay. Main focus should be on had come. Okay. That means had plus verb 3. Yes, it's known to you. Had plus verb 3. Okay. We usually use verb 3 after had and would have, could have, might have plus verb 3. Would have plus verb 3. Have you noticed it? This is called third conditional. Third conditional. It's clear to you? That means the structure should be if plus past perfect plus future perfect in the past. If plus past perfect plus future perfect in the past. Is it clear to you? If plus past perfect plus future perfect in the future perfect means subject plus would have, might have, should have plus verb 3. Is it clear to you? Okay, fine. So it talks about the past. It's used to describe a situation that didn't happen and to imagine the result of this situation. So when usually we use third conditional, when we talk about the past, it's used to describe a situation that didn't happen actually and to imagine the result of this situation. Have you noticed? Yeah, please look at the sentence. If you had come, I would have gone. That means you had not come, and that's why I would not go. That is why it is said. It talks about the past. It's used to describe a situation that didn't happen and to imagine the result of this situation. Okay? Now you can see another picture here. Look at it. If you had given me the book, if you had given me the book, uh, I would have been pleased so much. If you had given me the book, look at the verb had given. Okay, had plus verb 3. I would have been pleased. I would have been pleased. I would have been pleased. Have you noticed it? Okay, fine. Now, completing item 27. Zero conditional. Zero conditional means if plus present plus present. If plus present plus present. Okay, look at the sentences below. If people eat balanced diet, da da da. So, use of if conditional. Zero conditional means universal truth. If people eat balanced diet, dot dot dot. If you are ill, if people eat balanced diet, they keep fit. Have you noticed? People eat balanced diet. It's in present form, present tense, and the second clause is in present form. Have you noticed it? If plus present plus present. If people eat balanced diet, people eat. This is present. And after if we have used present indefinite, and the second clause is in present form. Have you noticed it? If people eat balanced diet, they keep fit. If you are ill, you go to doctor. Okay, and sentence number 3. People die if they don't eat. People die if they don't eat. Okay, fine. You get water if you mix hydrogen and oxygen. You get water if you mix hydrogen and oxygen. Number 5. Snakes bite if they are scared. Snakes bite if they are scared. Okay, and in number 6, if babies are hungry, they cry. So I think you have noticed you have noticed it minutely. Zero conditional is equal to if plus present plus present. In the sentences below, in all the sentences below, if plus present has been used. Have you noticed it? Yes. Okay, fine. Now you can see another picture here. What can you see? Yeah, a rose is blooming. Okay, so if rose blooms, it looks beautiful. If rose blooms, it looks beautiful. It's universal too. Okay, that is why if plus present plus future present. Have you noticed it? If rose blooms, it's in present tense, and it looks beautiful. It's another present indefinite. Okay. Now completing item 28. Okay, use of as oblique since as subordinating conjunction. So what would be the formation? Formation would be subordinate clause with as oblique since plus related principal clause. So please keep it in memory. Subordinate clause with as oblique since plus related principal clause. So look at the sentence, please. As my mother does all the best for me, as my mother does all the best for me, I can do everything for her. So have you noticed, as has been used here as subordinating conjunction, and as it has been used at the beginning of the sentence, that is why we have used a comma after the first clause. Okay, So please keep it in memory. Whenever you will use any subordinating conjunction at the beginning of the sentence, you must have to use a comma after the first clause. Okay. As my mother does all the best for me, comma, I can do everything for her. Okay. Now, there's some activities for you. You have to do it by yourself. Since he is ill, comma, dot dot dot. Number 2, dot dot dot, as I respect all. And number 3, since it is morning, comma, dot dot dot. And number 4, dot dot dot, I will help him. And number 5, as he is my teacher, comma, dot dot dot. You have to do it by yourself. And if you can do it, I think you can easily do it, as you have got the techniques from the previous discussion. Okay? Now completing item 29. Completing item 29. Use of would that oblique I wish. Would that oblique I wish. Okay, I wish I were a bird. I wish I were a bird. And completing item 30. Use of so much, so many. I think you can guess mass and many. You can guess the use of mass and many. Mass is usually used before uncountable noun and many is used before countable noun. It's clear to you. You have got the information before. So please, you have so much money that you can buy a car. You have so much money that you can buy a car. I have so many problems that I can solve. I have so many problems that I can solve. So have you noticed? Money, it's uncountable noun. That is why mass has been used before money. And problems, it's countable noun. That is why many has been used before problems. Okay. So please keep it in memory. You have so much money that you can buy a car. I have so many problems that I can't solve. Now complete the following sentence. You have to do it by yourself. I have not so much time. Dot dot dot. Number 2. There are so many stars in the sky. Dot dot dot. And number 3. They plucked so many flowers. Dot dot dot. So that's all about sentence completion. So I like to thank you all. May God bless you all, my dear learners. Bye.